Hello all. A warm welcome to all of you in the 12th session of Chess with Gaurav Bakliwal Season 2. I am Arnit Jain from Jaipur, India. It's my privilege and honor to be a volunteer for the today's session. Today's game was played in Munich between Kramnik and Kasparov in 1994. The game is described by experts as a positional brilliance. The way Kasparov sacrifices his queen early in the game is just outstanding. After that, Gaurav sir will show an amazing move of the day played by Mohring in 1964. So, without wasting much time, I would like to invite our own Gaurav sir to take the session forward.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very, very much, Arnett. It was really nice. He is from Jaipur and very well conducted, very well anchored. And good evening, audience. Good evening for one more session. Now, today's game, as Arnett said, is my favorite, my legend, Gary Kasparov. And he's playing with Kramnik, Vladimir Kramnik is the game. Now, the game today was played in 1994. It was a rapid event in Munich. And it is a very, very amazing positional game wherein Kasparov sacrificed the queen in early moves, and there was nothing concrete which was happening. And I'm sure you guys will enjoy this game. And then the positional advantage which Kasparov had, the minor pieces which probably ran inside the white's position, is a treat to watch. Now, before we start the game, my dear friends, Gary Kasparov was world champion and he was for very, very long time from 1986, 85 to 2000 periods, and he was the world's number one player for 20 years, 85 to 2006. 6 months in between, Kramnik was the world number one. And he has been a legend, and he has done a lot for the game, written good books as well. How Life Imitates Chess is one of his best books, and I think I spoke about Kasparov few sessions back also when I was taking the session of Topalov versus Kasparov. Now today's session, as I told you, is Kramnik is white, and Kramnik has also been world champion actually. In fact, he defeated Gary Kasparov in 2000 in the Professional World Chess Championship, which was started a rival body by Kasparov. And he was also a second to Gary Kasparov in 1995 when Kasparov was playing against Vishwanathan Anand in World Championship matches. Kramnik was a second to him. And Kramnik, the talent of Kramnik was spotted by Gary Kasparov himself. And in 1992 or 93, when in Chess Olympiad, Kramnik was selected, and a lot of questions were raised, a lot of eyebrows were raised about Kramnik, his credibility at this young age, overpassing some various people, how he could be selected, another thing. But Kasparov was the one who backed him, and in that Olympiad, Kramnik won the gold medal, and he did very, very well. In fact, that's a record of some 2938 rating performance in that chess Olympiads. And from there, Kramnik was like unstoppable. And then he was a second to Gary Kasparov, and he defeated Gary Kasparov in 2000 in World Chess Championship by applying the very famous Berlin defense. So, anyways, guys, enough of the ideas. He got Chess Oscar Award as well in that year. Now, let's see the today's game, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy. Okay, and let me share the screen. Right, so I can see my dear Arnett as well. Okay, so Gary Kasparov is white. I mean, Kramnik is white, and Gary Kasparov is in black. Okay, and let's see the game. D4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight to c3, bishop to g7. So it is King's Indian defense. Actually, it can convert to Grunfeld also at this point. But e4 and now d6, it has completely become King's Indian defense. So knight f3 is played here. Standard moves castle. Okay, let me see audience. Sharvi is there. Okay, hi Sharvi. Vivan, hello Vivan, how are you? Right, you can chat of course. Arisha, I can see. Yashasvi, okay. Right, people are about to join. So now, knight f3 and castle, these are standard moves here. And bishop e2, e5 is the move played by black, which is a very standard move in this position, e5. Now, one idea is to do castle here, and another idea is to play d5. So d5 was chosen by Kramnik, and now this is square. My dear friends, c5 square is the square where black should put his knight. I must get my knight on c5. So if I play my knight to c5, for example, knight a6, knight c5, or knight d7, knight c5, white can actually, attack by playing b4. And he will ask the knight, where would you go, my dear friend? Would you like to leave this place? I don't want you on this square. So it is always a good idea to play knight c5 without allowing white to play b4. I don't want white to play b4 and attack my knight. Please understand. And therefore, a very logical, a very good, straightforward move is to play the pawn to a5, which was played by Kasparov. So now I am stopping b4, and no problem, I will play knight a6, knight c5. As it is knight d7 does not hinder the development of my bishop as well. Yes, Arnett, speak up.
So, like here we played a5. So what we can do is we can play first knight a6, and when Kramnik he would play to stop the knight from coming to c5. He would play b4. So we can do knight cross b4.
No. He will not play b4 when you play knight a6. He's not a club level player. He is Kramnik. Why will he give the pawn? When you play knight c5, then he will play b4 to attack your knight. And then your move is wasted. You have to move the knight again to a6 or to d7. Are you getting my point? He will not play b4 to stop your knight. He will play b4 to attack it, right? And that is
Yes,
why
sir.
we play first a5, which was played by black here. Now Kramnik played bishop g5, which is a very logical move. Again, you are trying to pin the knight, no problem. And after h6, which is again a logical move, bishop h4 is played here. Now in this position, Kasparov thought for some time and he had two options here. One is knight bd7, which is a very standard move in such position, and the other is knight a6. Idea of both the moves is to play knight c5 actually. Are you getting it? Both ideas are same. But if you play knight bd7, the game might continue here, knight to d2, knight to c5, f3, bishop to d7, queen to c2, queen b8, nice move, bishop f2, h5, bishop e3, king to h7, h4, and bishop h6 with almost equal position. It's almost equal position, and a lot of games have been played on such variations, such lines. So this is a very popular defense, King's Indian defense, Royal Opit, Sicilian defense. There are so many popular opening, and there have been variety of games which have been played by top level players at almost every position. So coming back, Kasparov played the move here knight a6 with the similar idea. And now after castle, bishop d7 is also played. He also developed one more piece here so that the rooks can be connected as well. And bishop d7 is very important. Sometimes at some stages, I will probably play a4. I will try to play a4 or threat to play a4. It will protect that as well. And now white played the move knight d2. Probably he has f4 in mind, point number one. And the second idea is to protect e4. Why? Because black is as it is playing knight c5, and now e4 is probably attacked after immediate g5. If you don't take care of this pawn, I will probably capture it as well. So after knight to c5, here comes the pawn to b3. Now why b3? The idea is I want to play a4, b4, But if you play a3 here, please understand, audience. If you play a3, idea is to play b4 with the support of pawn. A3 is a very bad move in such positions. You must understand, my dear audience. You must understand the basics. Why? Because on A3, black will play A4. Oh ho ho ho. And now you can never play B4, because if you play B4, A into B3 is n% here. I will capture n%. And therefore, to remove the possibility, it is always a good idea to play B3 first, and then A3, and then B4, so that black is not able to play A4, and which is stopping your B3 or B4 completely. So B3 is played here, and this is a very, very popular, famous position which occurred in, as I told you, Kramnik versus Kasparov, 1994. Now this position, I have got a poll for you. Okay, and let's see. What unexpected move did Kasparov play here? What unexpected move did Kasparov play here? क्या अनएक्सपेक्टेड मूव यहाँ पर गैरी कास्परोव ने चली? ऑप्शंस आर a4, g5, queen e8, or is it knight f6 into e4? Knight into e4 pawn, f6 वाले knight से. What unexpected move did Kasparov play here? a4, g5, queen e8, or is it knight f into e4? Yes, Arnit, come on, speak up. What do you think?
So I think Kasparov could play Queen E8 so that the pin could get moved.
Queen e8, okay, queen e8. But then उसमें unexpected वाली क्या बात है? Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Queen e8 में तो कुछ unexpected ही नहीं रहा, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Unexpected
It's a
आपको क्या
common.
what do you think unexpected? Knight into e4 is written by various people. Knight into e4, क्या लगता है आपको? 100% लोगों ने दिया है knight into e4. Unexpected move तो यही मानी जाएगी ना यार, है ना?
Yes, sir. So in the poll, what's written? Knight N F that star and then E4.
हाँ, अनएक्सपेक्टेड मूव तो यही मानी जाएगी ना?
No, sir. What's written? This knight N F then a star
हाँ,
and
NF
then
मतलब
E4.
there are two knights. One is on f6 and the
Yes.
other is on
Yes,
c5.
sir.
तो अगर हम केवल knight
Yes,
into
sir.
e4 लिखेंगे तो how will the people know कौन से knight ने इसको मारा है? Right? To
Oh,
distinguish we write
yes.
NF. NF मतलब ये f वाला knight है, f6 पे f. और ये जो knight है ये c पे है, c5. तो इसको हम
But
बोलेंगे
I
knight.
think
हाँ.
knight
Knight is
F.
knight into
Yes,
e4
sir.
was played by black, and as I gave you the hint earlier also, Kasparov is offering the queen. Oh my god, he's offering the queen here. Take my queen in the just 12th move, and there is nothing concrete which is happening. There cannot be any check. I don't know why is he offering the queen so early, and that is why this is one of the most amazing positional brilliance game. So
Sir,
now
what was the idea?
that's what
Or
the entire game is
yeah.
all about. Now, first you have to see if he does not capture the queen here, and if he capture the knight, it's a very bad move, because now black will simply capture queen into bishop, and he has captured the center pawn. The queen has become very active, and it's a very, very, very clear winning position for black. So coming back, he has to capture the queen, which he did. And now you have to see the game to believe and understand. First, he played knight into knight c3, one piece captured, attacking the queen, as well as attacking the bishop on e2 with a check. So queen even is virtually forced, and now he captured the bishop as well. So in other words, I have got only one knight and only one bishop, two pieces for the queen, only two pieces and one pawn in the center. So if you look at the points criteria, queen is of 9 point, knight is of 3 point, bishop is of 3 point, pawn is of 1 point. So I have taken 3 plus 3 plus 1, 7 points, whereas I have given 9 points. So if you look at point wise, Kasparov has done a bad business, a bad transaction. But it's not about that. Look at the position, then you'll understand very slowly that white pieces are all crammed and they can't actually move in some amount of time as well. उनको काफी काफी समय तक अंदर ही रहना पड़ेगा. बहुत ही घटिया pieces हो गए white. There is no mobility. There is no mobility. Whereas look at the black knights. ये knight इतना खतरनाक है और अभी 2 ही मिनट बाद आपको ये knight भी बहुत अच्छे स्क्वायर पे दिखेगा. Now coming back, this position, white to play. Can you tell me इस पोजीशन में white की अच्छी मूव क्या होनी चाहिए? तो आपको मिलेगा पोल यहाँ पे भी और ये रहा आपके सामने पोल. What is the best move for white which was missed by Kramnik here? What is the best move of white which was missed by Kramnik? तो ऑप्शन है रुक c1, knight to b1, a3, और इज इट बिशप f3. इन चार में से एक अच्छी मूव है जो क्रैमनिक को थोड़ा एडवांटेज में रख सकती थी. स्लाइड बेटर फॉर वाइट. क्वीन होते हुए भी हम स्लाइड बेटर की बात कर रहे हैं बिकॉज उसके मोहरे चल ही नहीं रहे. रुक c1, नाइट b1, a3, और इज इट बिशप f3. ये चार ऑप्शंस दिए गए हैं. एंड व्हाट इज द बेस्ट मूव फॉर वाइट हेयर व्हिच वाज मिस्ड बाय क्रैमनिक? ओके, तो रुक c1 लोगों ने आंसर किया है, बहुत सारे लोगों ने. अंडित, व्हाट डू यू थिंक इन दिस पोजीशन?
सर रुक c1.
रुक c1 लग रहा है आपको भी? ओके. नाउ you have to understand that it is not always about material. The correct move here, or the only move here which can give white some advantage, little advantage, was knight b1. Although it looks very bad, but trust me, it is the only move which can stop the mobility of the black pieces. So knight b1, the game might proceed knight into bishop check, queen into, pawn to e4, knight to a3, bishop into rook, and rook into a1. Now it's a clear plus position for white. Although you might feel I have given my rook as well. अभी भी उसने रुक दिया है, उसके बावजूद भी there is rook and bishop versus a queen, which is a better bargain, for queen. Queen ही better है. अब उसका ये बिशप डायगोनल हट गई है, ये जो नाइट खतरनाक था वो हट गया है. और अब क्या है कि व्हाइट के मोहरे धीरे धीरे कुछ तो खेलेंगे. नाउ द क्वीन विल हैव सम काइंड ऑफ प्ले एटलीस्ट. अब गेम में क्या हुआ? गेम में रुक c1 वाज प्लेड, व्हिच इज अ वेरी बैड मूव, जबकि दिखने में यही अच्छी मूव लगती है कि हम नाइट को अटैक कर रहे हैं. और ये गंदी चाल है. कैसे? अब देखो, बहुत जबरदस्त. नाइट इनटू a2, वापस रुक अटैक हो रहा है. रुक a1 एंड नाइट कम्स टू b4. अब ये दोनों घोड़े देखो कैसे खतरनाक हो गए. यहाँ पे a2 पॉन भी हट गई है जो a3 कर सके. दोनों घोड़े खतरनाक हैं. d3 स्क्वायर मेरे पास है, मैं पॉन e4, f5, रुक e8, सारी चालें चलूंगा मैं. ब्लैक will have all kind of ideas now. White cannot do anything. वो वेट ही करेगा धीरे धीरे. अब तो अब गेम में क्या हुआ? अब तो बहुत आराम से, मतलब यार उफ, उसने खेला बिशप d1 क्योंकि नाइट c2 की थ्रेट थी. तो अभी करोगे क्या? क्वीन B1 खेलोगे? क्वीन B1 पे वो खेलेगा बिशप F5, क्वीन C1 और E4, गेम ओवर, खत्म हो गया, बाजी उड़े जा रही है। तो बिशप D1 खेला इन्होंने, कोई बात नहीं, E4, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, कास्परोव इज लाइक आराम से E4 पॉन दोनों घोड़ों से सपोर्टेड है। रुक टू B1, रुक E8, कोई जल्दी नहीं, क्वीन E3, F5, protecting the E4 pawn as well as trying to play knight D3 and F4 as well. कोई जल्दी नहीं है भाई साहब, बहुत जबरदस्त गेम है ये, बहुत जबरदस्त गेम है ये। So after F5, H4 was played here. H4. अब अगर तुम H4 ना करो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल F3 यू कैन ट्राई। जब मैं ये गेम देख रहा था तो मैंने सोचा F3 क्यों नहीं, बहुत गंदी चाल है F3, बहुत ही गंदी चाल। कैसे? ये खुल गई बाजी, pawn into pawn, EF3, queen F3, rook E7, idea is to double the rook, queen G3, king H7, protect the G6 pawn, don't let it fall, don't let it fall. And after queen H4, the rook is attacked, double it, queen to H3.
Excuse me,
And
sir.
yes,
Sir, can you please move like 2-3 moves before? Like when the queen was attacking the pawn. Yes, sir. No, sir.
yeah,
Then king to h7.
yeah,
Sir, then now the idea for the white is to capture the pawn.
yeah, but king
But
has supported.
sir, yes, sir. Sir, instead of king at 7, we could do g5.
No, I don't want to open my king. Why will I? If I play G5, I am unnecessarily opening my king here, and he can then play H4 as well. Are you getting me? He can
Yes, sir.
try some kind of attack. I don't have to give that right away. First, let me get my rooks, everything in the game. Knight should come to D3, and all these kind of positions I must get. Right? So that I'll
Okay.
do. So in that position, he played the move H4. He did not play F3 because of this. And now rook F8 was played with the idea of pawn to F4. Rook F8. G3 is the very important move here. And the other rook comes to join the party on E8. King to G2. Now I want to play F4. So Arnett, what should I do? Can you find the move? Audience, can you write in the chat? I want to play F4. But if I play F4 right now, he will just capture by the pawn. And I
Sir,
can't
bishop
capture.
e5.
Bishop E5 is a good idea, but then queen into H6 will happen. Bishop is supporting the H6 pawn. Any other idea? Sharvi has written a very good move here. Arisha has written a very good move here. Wow, nice. I want to play F4. Can you think of some idea which can control F4 square? The bishop E5 is one idea, but then Vivan has written a very good move here. Very well done, Vivan. Very good. The move is get your knight to D3, knight B D3. And now this knight controls F4 square. I can play F4. If he capture, I can capture by rook also or knight check as well. Both options are very good. So now rook G1 was played and black did not miss any move and he played the pawn to F4. So G into F4, rook F4, although knight F4 was also very, very good, clear win with a check. But he thought to get rook and then double the rook and then try to attack on F2. So after H5, don't capture here and open his rook. Please don't give any kind of play to white. What is the best move here? H5. What should black do?
Sir, g5.
G5. Don't let this file open. Play G5.
And sir, another protector for the rook.
Yes, rook F1. And now black played one move, just for repeating. Rook H4, which was not required. And after rook H1, he again played rook F4. So after rook F1, he played rook F8. Just repetition one time, to gain the clock timing. So now f3 was played by white. There is nothing better actually. And black could have captured ef3 and win the game as well, but he chose rook h4. Idea is now bishop h3 check. So after f into e4, knight f4 check, king to
So,
g1. Yes.
so instead of knight check, Gary Kasparov, he could play bishop h3.
Now bishop h3, he would have captured probably. Queen into h3 would have happened.
So, but then the queen is also gone.
No, but then you are taking rook and bishop for it. There are
Oh,
only
yes.
two minor pieces, and you are why will I give rook for the queen? So
Yes,
there is
sir.
no hurry actually. This queen is not more than a pawn actually in this position, not doing anything. So knight f4 check, king to g1 was played, and here comes the other knight, knight to d3. Look at the invasion of the knight, the rook, the bishop, the other rook, and slowly and gradually this bishop on e5 or d4 will also come in. There is nothing for white to be honest, and that is the beauty of positional sacrifices. Given queen in the 12th move itself, it's such a tough decision. And right now it's a clear win position. So he played e5 and he thought, okay, let me at least move my knight e4 and do something if I can. But black is very cool. He captured knight into e5, no problem. Played rook to c1 here. And here comes rook h3 attacking the queen. There is no meaningful square available for the queen now. So if you play queen e1, for example, knight to d3 will come and it is equivalent to resigning because the rook at c1 is also falling apart. So what will you do in this position? You can try queen e4. Here comes bishop f5. Oh my god. And now again knight d3 is coming. You can try queen a7, which is equivalent to resigning. You are going very far. And then the simplest way to win is knight d3, rook to c2, bishop to f5, and then pawn to g4. Crushing, completely crushing the game. So what happened in the game is equally instructive. White played knight to f3, getting the knight in between. And audience, now can you write a very easy move? Very simple move here. He has
So,
played
can
knight
I?
f3, but the knight is spin. So what is the move? Can you take advantage? It is spin.
So, knight cross h5.
No, I am not interested in side pawn. No, 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 no. This knight is so amazingly in the center. Sharvi has written a good move here. Very good.
So, knight cross,
The hint is the
knight
knight is
cross
spin. The hint is knight
c3.
is spin.
So, knight cross e3. Sorry,
No,
f3.
no, 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 no. He will capture by the rook.
Or the bishop.
Vivan has also written a move here. Sharanya is also here with us. Good evening, Sharanya. And rook g3 is also a good idea, but not the best idea. Can you find the best move? The knight is spin. Can you take advantage? It is spin. So what we should do when something is spin? We want to attack it because it can't move. So what is the move now? So many hints I
So,
have given.
bishop g4.
Bishop g4 and better move than that is instead of bishop.
Actually, my idea was that bishop g4, first of all, developing it.
But then better move than bishop is pawn to
Mm,
g4. Yes,
g4.
Divan Sharvi, well done. Pawn to g4. And now the knight is gone. Third piece will fall with attack. And Kramnik thought enough is enough. He captured knight into knight. Black simply captured the queen. And now he captured knight into bishop. But then it's a clear win position for black. Pawn up plus position up. Knight check was played over here. And after king to g2, rook into rook, king into, and now this pawn is very dangerous. Very soon it's going to become queen. And look at this knight, it will fall here itself. There is no move available for the knight. It can't go anywhere. So
So the
after
knight
king
is trapped.
g2, knight is trapped as well. And knight f4 check. Kramnik thought, I think I have had enough for the day. And in this position, he shook hands with Gary Kasparov and he resigned. So this was your game. Amazing, one of the most amazing games played by Kasparov, giving queen in just 12th move and in the position where absolutely nothing was there. Absolutely nothing. And he gave the queen. Now comes the move knight e4. Just two pieces for the queen. But look at the piece play. Slowly and gradually, all black pieces are playing in such coordination and tandem with each other. Oh my God, as if somebody is playing piano. What a coordination. Nice music. Okay, my dear friends, I hope you like the game. If you please write in the chat. And here comes the most amazing move position for you guys. So this game or this position occurred in 1964 and this was a game in Tel Aviv in one of the chess Olympiads again. This is Hindel versus Mohring. Hindel versus Mohring. Mohring is from Germany, Hindel is England. And Mohring performed amazingly well in this Olympiad and he was given the gold medal. Now this position is black to play. And as you can see, it is opposite color bishop. But black can probably push his pawn and make a queen. And if he pushes a2, white has to sacrifice the bishop. And then black will be remaining with two pawn and a bishop. But then the h6 pawn is as it is being captured by the white king. And then you have to see whether a2 is a good move or not. Now the point is, if at all black is having this pawn, h6 pawn alive and the bishop alive, please understand he can never win the game because the rook pawn, the square which is it getting promoted is a white square and the bishop that you have is a black square bishop, dark square bishop. So if you remember the basic end game, the most basic end game, you can simply play king f5, g4, h3, g2 and h1. And the moment king is on h1, I can never win even if I have got a one pawn and one bishop because my rook pawn is getting promoted on the light square. So this position is the most amazing move here. And the question asked is, what move did black play here to win the game? What is the move? And of course, I will do a poll for this. And of course, I know the answers which you guys will give because by now you know me. So what amazing move did black play here? A2, G4, Bishop D2, or is it any other super amazing move? And all 100% of as always, everyone has given the poll on any other super amazing move. What amazing move did black play here? A2, G4, Bishop to D2, or any other super amazing move. So let's see, my dear friends. Audience, of course, can write in chat if you can find the move here. Jagrat is here, my dear. Jagrat has joined us. And he has written a move. Oh ho, Jagrat. Is it the correct move? Are you an amazing player? Arnit, what do you think? What move did black play here? Can he win this
Sir,
position?
sir, any
A2.
other super amazing move?
But what is the move? He has played something on the board,
Hmm.
no? So A2, G4, Bishop
No,
D2,
sir. So I think it would be A2,
A2. So let's look at A2 first.
capturing the
If you play
bishop.
A2, white will of course capture. And when you capture, white will capture h6 pawn. And when you play G4 check, king to G6. And now when you play bishop to E3, he will not capture your bishop because if he captures here, then your pawn will promote. But he will simply play king f5. And now he is capturing your pawn. Bishop f2, king into g4, and the game is draw. Black cannot win this game. Black has nothing to win. Alone bishop cannot do a checkmate.
Sir, but white can. It
White
can
cannot because
promote it.
black will play the bishop here and then it's a draw. So anyways, we are looking for, we want black to win. So as it is, this does not work. So let's come back to original position. Okay, what about g4? Very interesting move. Very interesting. Now g4 is also a draw. Let me tell you, king to f5, attacking this pawn. g3, f into g3, bishop into g3. If you play, then it's a simple draw king g4. I will give my bishop for this pawn and I will simply play king h3, g2, h1 and this pawn can never promote on the light square. But there is an interesting idea here, g3, fg3 and now just play bishop g5. Don't capture this pawn. So there might be a chance that you will have to play g5 sometime. Your king will be in stalemate position and I have to capture by the pawn and then this pawn can promote because it will no longer be a rook pawn. But it won't happen. I will not let you this happen. I will not let this happen. Why? So I will play g4 here and now you have to see the idea of white and now pay attention, king e4. I will not let your king come to uh, allow me to go to h1. I will remain in the center. So king to b3, king d3, king d2, king d4, king c1, king e4, king d1, king d3, e1, c4, e2, king d5, f3, d4, and it's a draw. Because if you capture this pawn, it's a draw as it is. And if you don't capture, I am not going to get stalemated in the corner so as to you forcing me to play g5. I will not. And this is also a draw position. So coming back to original position, a2 is draw, g4 is draw. What about bishop d2? King into pawn, g4 check, king to g6, bishop to e3, king f5, bishop f2, king g4 is also a draw. In other words, what is the winning move then? Jagrat has written the move now. He has changed the move. He wrote first earlier and now some other. Okay, Jagrat, your first move which you wrote was the correct answer. The super amazing move here, the winning move is bishop e3. Can you believe this move? Wow. If you capture here, well, g4, and now this pawn or this pawn, one of them will become the queen. The white bishop cannot protect both. So after bishop to d5, g3, king into h6, a2, bishop into a2, king into a2, king h7, g2, and it's a clear winning position for black. This pawn is a queen next move. So coming back to bishop to e3, oh ho, f3. What about f3 here? How can black win the game? So a2, bishop a2, king a2. Now, if you don't capture h6, I will very simply get my king closer and win the game. So you have to capture it sometime or the other. The moment you capture, g4 is a discovered check. It's a discovered check, g4. And now, after king to h7, I capture here, and now this pawn will become, oh my Jesus, what a move. Bishop e3 was played in the game. Hindley versus Mohring. Mohring. So why the name is Mohring? Because his name was Mohar. And because after his married life of 15 years, he got a lot of suffering. And he changed the name from Mohar to Mohring, Suffering became Mohring. Wow, what a nice logic. Bishop e3. So what happened in the game? King into h6 was played by white here. And after g4 check, discover, if you don't capture king g6, then bishop f2 is winning. Pawn into bishop was played. And here comes g3, king to h7, g2. h6, queen, and after king to h8, a2, bishop a2, king a2, h7, queen g6 was played in the game. Mooring. Wow. There is stalemate position, but there is e3 pawn, which he played on e4. And after queen to f7, e5, Mooring shook hands with Hindle by doing checkmate. Queen f8, check and mate position. What a nice move, bishop e3. What a nice move. So now Jagrat has written the second move, bishop g3. Well, I don't know whom he want to win the game because bishop g3 is winning for white after simply capturing here, Mr. Jagrat. Now this pawn is on this file, there is no passer. And it is winning for white now. Very easy. I will capture here on h6, g7 and promote my h8, h pawn. Okay, no problem. But his move bishop e3 was excellent. And well done, Mr. Jagrat. Well done. Okay, my dear friends, well done. Now coming to the homework question. And this was a Bhagwan question, let me tell you. And again, I have got no mail, zero email. Nobody has got the correct answer. And it was very tough question actually. It was my fault. I thought that people will enjoy solving in summer vacations, but then it's a tough question. The question is, let me repeat, this is the position. It's a very classic puzzle by Werner Keane. The question is, how can this position appear on the board? Who played the last move and what was the move? So first question is very simple. Who played last? Of course, white. Of course, white. There is nothing which black can play. The only move which black can play is b6. But if he played b6, how can the white king enter here? The only way it could have entered is this way. And if b6 is played now, the pawn was on b7, then how can white king enter? Knight from d6 to e8 cannot be played because that's the only place from where the knight could come to e8. But if knight was on d6, it was giving a check on f7. So that means white has played the last move, and the last move is bishop h7. Now the question is, how can this bishop go to h7? There is no way, because if the bishop was on g8 and it has come to h7, think about it. What move did black play one move earlier? What move did black play? Think about it. एक चाल पहले क्या हुआ होगा? अगर तुम कह रहे हो कि ये बिशप यहाँ से आया है, तो ये बिशप यहाँ गया कैसे? ब्लैक ने एक चाल पहले क्या चला होगा? तो तुम कह रहे हो कि ब्लैक ने यहाँ पे कुछ तो क्वीन चला होगा h7 पे और इसने बिशप से क्वीन मार लिया होगा. मान लिया, एग्री. उससे एक चाल पहले व्हाइट ने क्या चला होगा? ये बिशप यहाँ गया कैसे? ये बिशप यहाँ गया कैसे अगर इसने यहाँ से क्वीन मारी है? यहाँ तो क्वीन थी, तो वो गया कैसे अंदर? यहाँ से जा नहीं सकता, यहाँ से जा नहीं सकता क्योंकि राजा है. एंड देयरफॉर द ओनली आइडिया.
चेक
नहीं, डिस्कवर कैसे देगा? बिशप थोड़ी डिस्कवर.
अगर क्वीन और रुक होता तो
नहीं, डिस्कवर व्हाइट देगा ना, ब्लैक की कोई थोड़ी देगा वो. तो ये गया कैसे? एंड नाउ जागृत एंड विवान हैज रिटन अ गुड कॉन्सेप्ट हियर. कैन यू बिलीव हुआ यूं है कि ये जो बिशप है ना, ये ओरिजिनल बिशप नहीं है. ये यहाँ से पॉन गई होगी h7 तक, उस पॉन ने यहाँ कुछ तो मारा होगा और ये बिशप डेवलप हो गया होगा. पॉन प्रमोशन टू बिशप. और फिर इस बिशप ने यहाँ कुछ मारा होगा. दिस इज द ओनली पॉसिबिलिटी विच कैन हैपन. कैन यू अंडरस्टैंड? तो फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द व्यूअर्स, जो भी ये देख रहा है लाइव और जो भी यूट्यूब पे आगे लाइव में कभी देखोगे, मैंने दिमाग लगा के कैसे तो भी करके ये गेम बना दिया. एंड आई विल शो यू द गेम. कैन यू बिलीव? मैं तुम्हें गेम दिखाऊंगा जो मैंने बनाया रैंडम, कि ये पोजीशन बोर्ड पे आई कैसे होगी. प्लीज एंजॉय द गेम, प्लीज एंजॉय. तो e4 b6 क्वीन g4, ऐसे रैंडम चाले है, ये प्योर रैंडम, जस्ट ये दिखाने को कि ये पोजीशन मैं तुम्हें लीगली लाके दिखाऊंगा. ऐसे ही रैंडम है, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना, चालों को मत देखो, बस केवल ये देखो, लीगल चालें हैं सारी, लीगल चालें. दे आर ऑल लीगल मूव्स. अब देखो राजा चलना चालू, राजा का चलना चालू, राजा का चलना चालू। इधर ब्लैक का देखते रहो वो कैसे राजा हाथी को करे जा रहा है। अब व्हाइट सब पिटवाएगा, सब पिटवा लेगा वो ब्लैक की क्वीन से, जैसे एंटी चेस हो रहा हो कोई। सब पिटाएगा वो, और वो घोड़ा नहीं मारेगा क्योंकि वही घोड़े को तो E8 पे आना है। अब देखो, अब बहुत ध्यान से देखो, अब ये पहले राजा F7 पे आएगा, उसके बाद घोड़ा E8 पे आएगा, ऐसा खेल बनेगा। लेकिन अगर वो F7 पे आया तो घोड़े की चेक आ जाएगी, तो राजा कहाँ जाएगा? तो अब देखो ध्यान से कैसे ये पोजीशन आई है, ध्यान से देखो। आराम से मार लिया उसने। अब वो पहले राजा निकला, ये इधर आया, वो और राजा निकला, ये और राजा घुसा, अब वो हाथी हटाया, ये और राजा आया, अब उसने हाथी को बाहर निकाला, अब ये राजा आ गया।
सर ब्लैक को नहीं दिख रहा, उसकी रानी मर रही है।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये सब छोड़ो यार, रानी वानी छोड़ो, तुम समझ नहीं रहे, हमको पोजीशन लेके आनी है बस। वी जस्ट वांट टू शो कि हाउ कैन दिस पोजीशन लीगली अराइव ऑन द बोर्ड। अब बहुत ध्यान से तुम देखो कैसे उसने हाथी को हटाया राजा को घुसाने के लिए व्हाइट के। अब इसने चेक दी, अब वो किंग G8 चला गया, जगह खाली, और अब ये नाइट E8 घुस गया। अदरवाइज ये नाइट घुसा कैसे? ये ऐसे हुआ है, उसने किंग G8 गया होगा वो, अब वो नाइट E8 घुसा, अब वो वापस किंग F7 आ गया, अब वो वापस रुक H8 चला गया। अब इसने रुक A2 टाइम पास चालें चली, अब वो किंग घुसा, पहले रुक G8 अंदर घुसेगा, अब फिर किंग आएगा आराम से। अरे भाई साहब, हो गई। अब इसने H4 H5 पॉन प्रमोशन चालू करी, अब उसने रुक को ही मार लिया कि मार दे। पॉन प्रमोशन, पॉन प्रमोशन, पॉन प्रमोशन, ये आ गई पोजीशन भाई साहब, मजा आ रहा है कि नहीं? एंड नाउ he captured the rook and made the bishop, and now black played queen to H7, and here comes the position which we desire. This is the only way that this position can arrive on the board. बताओ भाई, भाई लोगों चैट पे लिख दो, जागृत, विवान, शार्वी, अमेजिंग, ऑसम, सुपर, ये गेम ऐसे खेला गया होगा। तो यार तुम सोचोगे जब ही तो मजा आएगा। यू हैव टू थिंक, सोचो कि यार ये पोजीशन कैसे आई है, यार कैसे आई है ये पोजीशन, क्या हुआ होगा? हाउ कैन द बिशप कम हेयर, किंग कैसे घुसा होगा, ये नाइट यहाँ कैसे आया होगा, एक ही स्क्वायर से आया है तो यहाँ आया होगा, तो चेक लगी होगी, तो राजे को यहाँ आना पड़ेगा, तो उसने पहले राजा और हाथी बाहर निकाले होंगे, उसको जगह दी, भाई तेरे को जगह दे रहे हैं हम, और फिर ये कहा। ओ माय गॉड यार, गाइस प्लीज सोचा करो ऐसे। और ये यूट्यूब पे लाइव वीडियो है, यू कैन वॉच एन नंबर ऑफ टाइम, बार बार देखो। वेल डन। और अब आ गई है आपके सामने क्या, आज का होमवर्क, और ये रहा सवाल। प्लीज टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट ऑल्सो, हालांकि आप बार बार देख सकते हैं। The homework for today, please mail your answers chesswithgauravbakliwal@gmail.com, chesswithgauravbakliwal@gmail.com, वेडनेसडे तक मेल करिए, you will get 100 rupees GPay prize as well। क्वेश्चन क्या है? क्वेश्चन है आपको ये पोजीशन व्हाइट से ब्लैक से, आप जो मर्जी चलो, स्टार्टिंग पोजीशन है, आप जो मर्जी चलो व्हाइट से, जो मर्जी चलो ब्लैक से, प्लीज गेट दिस पोजीशन इन एग्जैक्ट 4 मूव्स। 4 चाल में आपको ये पोजीशन बोर्ड पे लेके आनी है जो दिख रही है। व्हाइट की पॉन E2 की गायब है, ब्लैक की पॉन E7 वाली गायब है, D7 वाली पॉन D6 पर है, और ब्लैक का क्वीन F6 पर है, बाकी सब व्हाइट का सेम है। तो ये पोजीशन आपको लेके आनी है बोर्ड में 4 चालों में, व्हाइट ब्लैक, व्हाइट ब्लैक, व्हाइट ब्लैक, व्हाइट ब्लैक, 4 चाल में प्लीज गेट दिस पोजीशन ऑन बोर्ड। ये आपके लिए सवाल है, होमवर्क क्वेश्चन। क्लियर है? 100 क्वेश्चन क्लियर है आपको?
हाँ सर।
बताओ क्या है क्वेश्चन, क्या है बताओ। गेट दिस पोजीशन इन
4 moves,
4
white
मूव,
black, white black, white black and white black।
जो भी चल लो आप, आपकी इच्छा है, यू डू व्हाटएवर, है ना, दोनों तरफ से आपको खेलना है। लीगल मूव्स, लीगल मूव्स। ओके ऑल ऑफ यू माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, चलो तो लेट्स मेल करो chesswithgauravbakliwal@gmail.com वेडनेसडे तक। एंड नाउ अर्नित, यस, यू वांट टू स्पीक समथिंग माय डियर अर्नित?
Yes sir। Thank you so much, dear Gaurav sir, to give me this opportunity to volunteer this event. I enjoyed very much and it was great fun to interact with you as well as the lovely audience. It really gave me a nice platform to learn chess with you as well as to remove the fear of speaking in public platforms. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Well done, Arnit. Very good. I hope you have enjoyed today evening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, audience. Thank you very, very much.